Everybody, welcome back. Oh, my camera's just gone off. Look at that. Hi, everyone. Dave here from Band of Badgers. This is the Great British Brush Off. How's everyone here? How's everyone doing? We've got Mr. Fisk is back, Alan all the way from tomorrow, and everyone knows Steve. How are we doing?
Yes, good. Thank you.
Very
Yeah,
good.
good.
Yeah, really good.
Good. Right, we're gonna crack on because we have a lot to do. If you didn't know, we are still painting our dragons. It's come a long way. For some reason, then Steve, I thought yours was wearing sunglasses.
Really?
Yeah, you just put it up. It looked like he's wearing his black shades across his eyes. Look, that's just what I was like. You just you did something cool. That was all. Like, that's unusual.
Touche. Compliment and insult me in the same sentence. So
Well,
that takes
that's
some
it. Yeah,
doing.
that's how it works. That's what we do. Well, I'm gonna jiggle some cameras around because we're going a bit wonky. There we go. I'm also going to put some tunes on in the background. We've got some Elven Glade. So if it's too loud for you, the audience, or if it's too loud for you, the painters, do let me know. And I'll keep it there. Now, if you have questions, whether you're joining us live, stick them in chat. We'll call them out. If you have questions, if you're watching this on YouTube and you have questions, stick in the comments below, and I'll pass it over to the guys because I don't know what I'm doing. And these these three are far more better than I am. But there we go. Now, I've been at Hever Castle all day, so I have been freezing. Although right now, I've been trying to warm up. I am really, really hot. So I have a nice cold beer to enjoy. So enjoy. Does everyone? We completely forgot to do the startup. So does everybody have brush water? Brushes, paints, everything.
Paper towels.
Towel.
Oh yeah.
Paper towel. Okay. On your marks, get set, paint, go, boom. Now, from when you last saw the episode 2, both Mr. Fisk and Alan and Steve, I think. Steve might have even done some extra painting.
No. I've not painted anything off stream. That was all done last week.
Oh, okay. You see that? Here we go. Shum, shum, shum. Shum, shum, shum. So we have our glorious blue dragons in. I have a bronze dragon, which I'm still doing in red. So that's how that's coming along. You can see it here. There we go. So that's coming along.
I did do a little bit of the base.
So that is looking awesome. Let me just make that full screen. There we go. Boom. So that's looking really nice.
Yeah, it's lovely to see the bases. I think they really finish a model off.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
Are they the Citadel skulls?
Yes, yeah.
That's so good. The evergreen Citadel skulls.
They were completely sold out during lockdown. You couldn't get them.
Oh man, I can imagine. To be fair, I bought one box years ago, and it's just lasted and lasted and lasted. And it will just go forever, I think. Just put the odd one or two on a base, and it adds so much.
I did something very similar with this model. Just put one or two on the base.
Just a couple.
I got a bit out of hand with this Nurgle army.
Okay, I'm going to have to show you something. Bear with me. I'm just going to run off cam for a second, and I'm going to show you something. My skull extravaganza. Bear with me.
Love it.
This is turning into that scene from Jaws where they'll start showing each other
Scars.
worsening scars.
American Psycho.
I wonder if I can use this as a kind of stand to paint on. Here we go.
And I'm back.
Yes.
So, where are we? So this is the caduceus clay that I painted from from Critical Role.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
Nice. Look at that.
And there's a huge 3D
Oh,
printed
yeah.
skull in the center, and then inside the water there are more,
Oh,
and then
yes.
on the top lots of little ones hidden around here, there, and everywhere, and there are probably about 40 or so hidden around the base. Get the
That's
lighting
brilliant.
right. Yeah, so
That
it's
is
nice to
amazing.
do a very Scully project every now and again.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, so that was a fun one.
Just put that back. Have you got ripples in the top of that resin layer?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You have. That is unbelievably difficult to do.
It's a bit tricksy, yeah. I feel like I could. I did it once very badly. Had to strip all the resin off it and then start again,
yeah.
which was a little bit stressful. But went much better the second time, as these things tend to. But I reckon I could do a much better job if I had the opportunity to do it again. Lots of foliage going on this one as well.
Yeah, that I mean, just the mulch on the ground as well looks awesome.
Thank you. Actually, the base that I made for the dragon looks a little bit similar. Obviously, not as extravagant. But yeah, similar to Alan. I've gone for the extra credit. So I do have a lovely base for our dragon as well,
Oh wow,
which is a couple of hours
Nice.
work the other day.
that's really good.
So
Look at
hopefully by the end of this, I can get the whole thing mounted up. I don't know if that will happen, but the best laid plans.
Do you know those artist videos where you see them, 10 minutes work, 1 hour's work, 10 hours work?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm the 10-minute work, you're the 10-hour work at base. That's what you pay your money for.
Where do you get your base materials from?
I largely scavenge them.
Oh right, okay.
I like to use sort of natural materials as much as I can.
Yeah.
Just because they look how they're supposed to look, basically. Yeah, so it's I use real soil as much as I can, and all the ground scatter and that kind of thing is just tea leaves, like green tea leaves.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so really simple stuff, like quite straightforward.
How do you
but
preserve
quite
it?
effective. You don't have to, because they're quite dry anyway, so
Okay.
they don't take much looking after. Yeah, when it comes to soil, it's quite good to bake it first, just to get all the moisture out of it.
Yeah.
But
That's what I do with mine.
short of that, no worries, just crack on. Yeah, all the big bits of rock are just like pine bark.
Yeah.
Which is great for large chunks. But yeah, surprisingly, like they look quite good as rock. So I'm a brush licker. So if I pause momentarily, it's because I'm poisoning myself.
It sounds obvious when you say it, that, using pieces that you've scavenged to do basing material with. But I would never have thought to do that. Just go out and collect some soil.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the advantages to living in an area that does have some nice woodlands and stuff. Like all the little trees that that I put on my models are just roots from fallen trees. So essentially, like the tree looks the same under the ground, just kind of in reverse and in miniature. So you can just slap some roots on something, and it just looks like little straggly trees.
How long did the Critical Role piece take you to do, from start to finish?
It was an on and off job, so it probably like was done over the over probably a year or so, just on and off,
Right.
because the base was so tricky. But yeah, I sort of wanted to, in the back of my mind, I thought it'd be fun to go to MCM Comic Con when they were here and sort of get it signed and stuff, but I have to wait for another year because it was a bit too busy a time of year for us.
Yeah.
Just schlep into London.
Yeah.
But maybe next time.
Have you poked at Am on social media or anything?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm very fortunate. I've had some really nice comments from Matt Mercer on some of my minis.
Nice.
Because he's into that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been really great and said some lovely things about some of my other stuff, and I gather that Talison's quite a hard person to pin down. I think he's a bit elusive, so I haven't heard anything from him, but I'll corner him at some point.
We with Taliesin, would you sign it, get him to sign it and keep it, or would you just gift it to him?
I'd be happy to gift it to him, but even if he just signed it and I could have it in my collection, it's one of the few minis. I mean, partly because of the size, but one of the few minis in my collection that has its own shelf.
Nice.
Because it was a real labor of love, that one. That was a lockdown project as well. So it kind of kept me sane in a way for a while. How about you guys? Any lockdown projects, like long-term things that you had going during the dark times?
Quite honestly, I've worked probably longer during lockdown than out of lockdown.
I know.
Yeah, I work in the
Maintaining
industry.
similar sanity.
Yeah, a little bit of that, and just being busy as well. Generally working in an industry that didn't work from home before lockdown. So there's a lot of learning to be done. But we had construction stuff going on at the same time, so yeah, it was a busy period. So other than working at home, wasn't a lot of difference for me from a work point of view.
You did your Beholder project though with your bell jar.
I did, yeah. It's still not finished properly, but I was doing that on the side, yeah.
What's that? Have you got that with you?
It's in the cupboard somewhere. It was around that time when I was doing that I was watching an awful lot of people doing resin pours.
Yeah.
And I have the resin, but the 2-part, not the UV activated. So it's something I would like to do, but never quite got the guts to do it.
Yeah, it is very scary. I think my early trepidation was kind of my downfall. I sort of didn't go in with much confidence in it, and I tried to play it too safe, and it kind of caught me out, shot myself in the foot a bit. So I think in future I just sort of it's best to jump in with both feet.
Is that the UV activated that you used on that particular miniature?
No, this is like a 2-part
Yeah.
kind of cure over the process of a couple of days kind of job.
Yeah. So you have to be really careful about how thick the layers are as well, don't you? Because the heat it gives off.
Yeah, so that was the first mistake I made was I actually left it. I did try to do it in lots and lots of layers, and it one of the middle layers didn't cure properly for some reason. I might not have mixed it correctly.
Right.
So when I put the last layer on and took the walls off, half of it just oozed out. So then I had to smash it with a hammer
Oh no.
because it was the only way to get all the cured resin off. That was an interesting moment, but I learned a lot. So I wasn't this positive at the time.
Did you say some words?
Maybe a couple of words. Maybe I probably had to have a sit down. Music is so relaxing. I feel like I'm at
I
spa.
love having the music on. Yeah. We use this in our games, but I find it quite nice just to have that extra bit in the background, just to fill the void,
Oh,
fill
definitely.
that silence in between conversations. But I love it. It's really nice. You can get it's free. It's royalty free. It's a free download. It's a 10-minute loop. You just go to tabletopaudio.com. And there is a ton of music, fantasy and sci-fi, horror.
Really good stuff as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite big on music for RPGs. It sort of makes it for me. I really need that extra level of immersion. It makes it just that much more cinematic, you know.
Completely agree. It just sometimes as well with this music, because it's not the same. There's no kind of chorus. It doesn't repeat itself after 10 minutes. It's really nice. So you get these highs and lows, and sometimes when the characters have those great moments together, the music just seems to land at the right time.
Definitely.
It's really nice.
I ran a game of Cult. I don't know if you're familiar with the game Cult.
No.
It's a horror role-playing game out of Sweden, I think. Really sort of modern, dark horror, think Hellraiser kind of stuff.
Nice.
And got all the players to choose their own theme music. And because it was horror, it was actually horror, and it was set in Manchester in the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And they all got to choose their own song, their own kind of soundtrack. And when their soundtrack came on, if it came on while they were doing stuff, because we would just run them randomly, they got a bonus dice. So if they were doing something, they got like a little boost. Their music came on.
That's a nice idea.
That's a really cool idea.
Do you remember what I chose?
Yeah, I've got the playlist actually, but it's on my phone. There was Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah.
Was one of them, and there was. What else did they have? Blue Oyster Cult. Oh, I'll mull that over while we paint.
Was the module like Murder at the Hacienda Club kind of thing, or was it?
The funny thing was, it was set in just outside of Manchester. There's a suburb just outside of Manchester. It escapes my memory now, which is where all the curry houses are.
Oh yeah.
And it's really famous for it. But there's a tiny little club there, which is a really old 1980s club, which I think is shut down since. And it's not like the Hacienda. It's like a real local dive.
Right.
And I think it might still be open, but because one of the Facebook reviews on their Facebook page was 3 stars. It's just a place.
That's almost a recommendation when it comes to dive bars.
Yeah, just a place. So that became kind of the name of the campaign.
Just a place.
Just a place.
That's phenomenal.
But you're right, music makes a massive difference.
Oh yeah. Yeah, in the Old West game that I was running that I mentioned last stream, I pretty much started the writing process by coming up with some playlists.
Yep.
And just putting that on and sort of immersing myself in that world.
Yeah, it can be really, really evocative.
Mm.
There was a lot of Happy Mondays on there, I do remember that.
That makes sense.
And Spiral Carpets, Happy Mondays. A game that does really benefit from nice playlists is Call of Cthulhu.
Oh, really?
Yeah, any game I find where you want to ramp up the tension, there are some really nice playlists out there. For instance, if you just type in something like Ends Classical,
right, yeah,
and you get these playlists which are ambiently just making your players get more and more anxious.
Yeah.
It's like what Dave's got on now, but with added anxiety.
I can switch it over to something else if you want to have a little bit of tension in the background.
For the final 15 minutes as we paint, and the tension just ramps.
That's what everyone needs when they're concentrating really hard on painting. Just
we could switch
stress.
it. So what we could do is the last 10, 15 minutes, as you say, we switch it to battle music.
Dun, 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 dun. Now then. I've been through so much paper towel in ages. I'm in serious danger of knocking over pots of paint with these wings.
I keep on knocking my microphone.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
Me, I keep getting the microphone. I keep getting the camera.
It's worth it.
I've just been trying to paint, which is basically the armpits of a dragon. Trying to get all the nooks and crannies done. How else can I do this? It's having a little bit of an experiment, I think.
Experiment's always good.
Now I'm doing a manicure for the dragon. Look at this. Trying to paint the nails, claws.
What colour are you doing?
Say again?
What colour are you doing?
And what I should be doing, I'm going to be doing black. I'm still doing the toes and in between the toes red. But I'm just thinking maybe I should have done like neon pink or something. Just to make him stand out a bit. Before I can do anything, I've got to let that dry. I don't know whether to do the other, try the same thing on the other foot. So even if it goes wrong, they match. I think I will. I'm going for it. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to do. Pull that off. Gives me a little bit more room.
We're going to take a moment now to evaluate what's going on this model. Because I've been daubing away and I don't know what I've done.
Right, 1 second, I will join you.
It does need to dry a little bit, and then there needs to be a little bit of tidying up before we go into some more detail. Okay.
I'm not sure if this is going good or bad.
Just remember, there's always the ugly stage.
Well, yeah, it's true. There's no. I've done no. This is rough and ready. I've done no tidy up on this. I'll keep going. I'll keep going. Oh no, right now. Come on.
Yeah, I must admit, I do sort of beat myself up quite a lot when it gets to the ugly stage. You know, it's very easy to get in your head about it and go, oh well, I must be terrible because this looks terrible. But then, you know, it always pays to look at other things you've done and you just remind yourself that you do know what you're doing, and all it needs is more work. Just more work. That's all it is.
I don't want it now.
Yeah, exactly. I know that feeling.
Steve, how are you getting on? Are you painting over your black?
No, I'm doing the other wing.
Ah.
So they did one wing last week. I'm doing the second wing this week. And may get on to doing some of the details, hopefully.
Yeah, I've made a right mess. I did a load of paint and I just put my hand in it. It's great.
Doing that a lot last week.
Yeah. Again, it's the first time I've ever worked on something this big, and normally when we do the brush off, it's either a normal size mini or a large mini. Never something this big. So it's one episode and done. You know, in 2 hours you can pretty much finish it. But this is so big.
It's just knowing where to hold it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without stabbing yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next time we'll go for something more round.
Yeah.
Less sharp.
Just a beholder. Just a ball with some tentacles.
We were going to be doing some of the stuff we got planned for the new year. Well, we say New Year's, sometime in the first quarter of 2024. Because we've enjoyed doing the dragons, because it's enabled us to do over several episodes paint the same mini. So as I said, normally it's one episode, you paint something and it's done, and then the next episode you'll paint something else. And to actually have something where we can paint it over a few episodes has been quite nice. And it's just trying to figure out what else we could do. So we might do... I like the idea of doing beholders, but we might also do something like giants.
Giants would be cool.
Just because the extra size that you can do over 2 or more episodes. And really kind of get into it and have something you can put on display and something you can use on the tabletop.
Yeah, I've wanted to have a crack at a frost giant for a while. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Well, I highly recommend Epic Encounters Frost Giant.
Yes, that's a beautiful mini.
Yeah, I've got that one. I haven't finished it, but again, we were using. It was a challenge. We did a challenge paint brush off, and I used Turbo Dorks. They have this blue, which is not. It's not exactly a shifting paint. It's a very reflective paint. And I made the axe out of ice, so I painted it like it's ice. It's supposed to be rusted metal or metal,
right?
But I thought no, I think it's going to look great as a piece of ice.
Great idea, yeah.
And it's beautiful, but it's a great size mini, but I haven't finished it because it was a 2-hour episode. It was one show, so it never got finished. Right. And then just never went back to. Never had the personal free time to go back and do it. And now that Dungeons and Dragons, with their Big B's variety of giants, there's a whole new collection of them from WizKids. So we'll see what we can do. So if you guys fancy painting in the new year, fancy painting a giant, Might be a random giant. We won't all paint the same one, but
they're the best kind.
I'll put your names down on the list.
Yeah.
We'll also be doing Critical Role. We announced that the other day. We're doing Critical Role minis as well. Right, so what else can I need to do? The toenails, I think. I'm waiting for it to dry so I can do the next layer.
Yeah. Amazing what just tidying something up a little bit does for you, doesn't it?
Yes.
I've decided to go for a white chest.
Let's have a look. Let's go around the table and see what people are doing. Let's can I make that one big? Where is it? Boom. There you go, Alan. Talk us through what you've done so far.
So after doing the wings last week, I decided to go a very dark kind of top-down view. You know how fish and birds, they have this dark top, light bottom thing, so that if you're looking at something from the ground up, you see sky, and if you're looking at it from the ground down, you see dark thing. So I've tried to go for that.
That's a cool idea.
So I did the rest of the back of the body and the tail in this darkness. So, sorry, going on camera there. And then I've tried to do a ombre on the wings, which is
nice.
A nice light blue up into that dark blue.
Yeah.
And then because it's blue dragon, I always think they're kind of frosty. So I've carried on that lighter blue down into the belly section and done the white chest.
Cool.
I'm going to try and concentrate on the head next, and then I'm going to start picking out all the details, like all the spines and the eyes and the tongue and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like working with a really limited palette because I like to have all my paint pots open at once. I just dip my paintbrush into them, and if it all runs together, I'll sort that out later. And then with working with a really limited palette, I find that at the end, when I pick out the details like the eyes or the tongue or the spines, they really pop.
Yeah, looking good, looking superb. We got Dragon Skull Studios. He's in chat. So it sounds like you've got some nice painting streams coming up. Yes, we do, Craig. Your name is already on the list. Steve, you're next up. Do you want to give us a quick tour of what you've done so far?
Yeah, I've just started putting this paint on here, so bear with me.
That's all right. No pressure.
When I do that.
You're only the thing that everyone can see right now.
Yep, that's all right. That's fine. I don't mind.
I love the detail though. Again, the textures on these minis are great because it does stand out really, really well.
It does. You know, this is only one coat of the speed paint, and it really is picking up and settling in all the recesses very easily. So yeah, I'm just doing the second wing. Gone for slightly different colours. Last week I used the yellows and reds, and I wasn't that pleased with the output. So this week I've gone with some sand golem, and I'm going to put some darker brown on the corners when that dries.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just laying the blue down on wings. And I seem to be going quicker than I was last week, so obviously that helped. And it's nearly 5 to 9, so I've got to shoot in a minute. But yeah, it's coming along nicely.
Yeah, Steve's got to pop off and then he'll be back. He has a family run to do.
Yeah.
So we get extra time.
Yeah.
We get extra time.
Yeah. That's what we want.
So yeah, but I don't think it was like because I painted the wing last week, but this one seems to be going on a lot easier, a hell of a lot easier. I really struggled putting on last week. Paint everywhere. It was covering my hands. It's on my desk. It was not good. But yeah, this one seems to be going much better.
Good. Right, and then before you shoot off, then Steve. Boom. Where are we? Mr. Fisk. Again, looking exceptional. Look at that.
So I'm just adding some extra highlights and some textures and bits and bobs. Sort of focusing on this main angle here. Just trying to get it where I want it to be. I think in terms of the lightness, it's probably there. Just working on the blue for the first probably hour and a bit, and then
I love that arm coming down because I can see the texture on the forearm now and the elbow. You've got those spurs coming out.
Oh yeah. So again, that was kind of one of the advantages to using the airbrush. You can kind of just run it up the row, and it'll kind of catch them all and blends them in, kind of all with one motion. But that's the benefit of it being this large.
Yeah.
Anything smaller, it might be a bit tricky to do that sort of thing. But pretty pleased with it. Pretty happy with how it's going. Yeah.
Cool. Like it.
Just hit my mic again. That's going to be the soundtrack of this evening.
It's constant.
Yeah.
We are good.
The tense thudding.
I'm just finishing off my nails and then I'll put mine on the camera. We have to see if we can. We've never been able to get him yet, but if we can get Matt Mercer to paint with us, we do some Critical Role minis. Because he used to have a painting show. Was that during
many moons ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've done a few on and off. But I think maybe they weren't so popular for their particular crowd.
Yeah, I've seen him do his. I just again stuck my finger in that one as well. The map making fast forwards that they do.
Oh,
that's quite
so
interesting.
Great. Oh yeah.
He's got a great room to do it all in. But yeah, I'll keep sending those invites. Oh, that is looking super. I've just done. I'll show you. It's still wet, but let me clean my brush, and then where am I? I'm here. Right, so there. So I've just been playing with. Is it going to focus on his toenails? And just
nice.
The jet black versus this blood red is gorgeous. There's the other one. And you can see, look, I mean, look at this one here. Look how sharp a point that is. That is painful. every time I pick it up. So yeah, I'm going to do that on his. That's come out really strong, actually. I like that. Gonna have to do some more, I think. And there is the rest of that. I don't think that's dry enough. Let me do the rest of that one. That's still a little bit tacky to the touch. So I will try experiment number 2. I'm not normally one for experiments. I tend to try to, well, apart from this whole thing is an experiment really, but I tend to try to stay with the colours that are on the box. Definitely some of this I like. Some of it, I don't think I like it, but trial and error.
There's a question for everybody. Are we miniature painters that like to stick with the colours on the box, or do we go wild and just be creative?
Weirdly, I mean, my day job is I'm a designer. I'm a digital product designer. And for once to be able to follow something on the box, I really like. So I've extremely rarely ever gone off the box description. What about yourselves? Steve's had to pop off, by the way, everyone. He will be back, but yeah, to pop off. In fact, what I'll do is, let's see. Okay, let's swap that out, and there we go. You can see on here, I've got this bone colour up here, and then I've got this gold plated dragon scales. It looks better on camera than it does in real life.
Because I paint so many armies or forces, I tend not to paint individual figures, if that makes sense, but I paint an army to a theme.
Yeah.
So I'll pick a broad theme for the army and a broad palette, and then try and stick to that.
Do you find that works? It's easy.
Oh yeah, it works a treat. It gives it a really cohesive feel.
Yeah.
The ogre army.
With you using limited palettes as well, like using a limited range of colours, it just helps it all be nice and harmonious.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, ties it all together. So when you're looking at it from 3 meters away or 2 meters away, you get this feel of a single cohesive thing. This ogre army that I've been painting is all based around the idea that they're an ogre army that thinks they're civilized, and they have picked up bits of information from all around the Warhammer old world, and they're trying to be from the different city-states. So they're wearing the city-state colours, but obviously they're still ogres, and they're pretty rough and ready. They still eat each other, and commit all kinds of weird atrocities. But they're carrying banners and they're in regiments and just like telling stories with miniatures.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's something I talk about quite a lot, which is sort of, it's a horrible phrase to use for it, but I sort of refer to it as being like adding value. So you have a sculpt that has certain information or certain themes and what have you, but as a creative person, you can put your mark on it in more than just adding color. So if even if it was just simply getting an ogre and he's got a little scrap of cloth, and you decide to put the markings from a particular, I don't know, Bretonian city on there, it adds that little bit of narrative that the sculpt didn't necessarily have.
Absolutely
So
agree.
sort of, yeah, you can add so much that way.
Something that we do in prop making all the time, which is a common thing, and you'll see if you look closely in things like movies, you'll see that when they put in a prop together, they'll go really deep into how that thing is used in the world that it appears in. So if you take, here's an interesting example. Let's say you're a costume designer and you're making a pair of pants for a show. You've got to go, okay, who wears these pants? Oh, it's a carpenter wears these pants. What do carpenters do to their pants? Oh, well, quite often they'll have a tape measure that they slip into their pocket 25 times a day. Oh, right, okay, so that pocket's going to be a bit worn, isn't it? So we better make that left-hand pocket threadbare. And you can do that on your miniatures. You can really tell stories through your miniatures and your armies. I love doing that. Only I never see it, obviously.
Well, that's the thing. I think it goes beyond that from the actor's perspective. So you're making this prop for a movie, for example, and that actor sees that the wear is in that particular place, and they go, that makes sense. Now I feel like a carpenter rather than an actor.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of all builds towards the same thing. Just makes me think of in the Lord of the Rings, they have Theoden's amazing suit of armor.
Yeah.
And they put Rohan symbols and stuff on the inside of the armor.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have to bother. They didn't have to do that. You're not going to see it on cam. But it's that extra level of sort of veracity.
Yeah, that's what you can do that with your painting. You absolutely can. Yeah. Think about what you're looking at, what you're painting. Do lots of little bits of tidying up now.
Speaking of adding narrative, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do my story time again. I'm going to grab a mini from the cabinet. I'm going to show you. Bear with me.
Yep.
I'm getting to the point in painting this day where I feel like I've accomplished something. Not just treading water.
Right, I'm gonna spin some paint. There we go.
And I'm back.
There we go.
So this is. Ooh, I'll just zoom in a wee bit. So this is Theoden, and I saw the sculpt and I thought, oh, it's a lovely sculpt, but he's very he's very passive. He feels quite almost pensive, considering he's wearing a full suit of armor. So I thought, oh well, here's what I should do. It should be him, not at the final battle. It should be him after the final battle, essentially this is him entering the afterlife. So
It's
he's
the flowers.
all bedecked, and I thought, the best way to do that is to have the base covered in the Symbolmin. So this is him sort of entering the afterlife. So I made him look younger than when he dies. So he's sort of the best version of himself.
Younger, less battle harried.
Yeah, nice, and sort of tried to keep it pretty clean and not blood spattered or anything like that, and just tried to make him this kind of idealized, just him at the peak of his power, but it's sort of entering the afterlife.
That's such a nice touch as well. Again, the flowers, because when they reveal what the flowers are, the burial mounds, and then they have that sweeping shot of the entire landscape, and it's full of these flower mounds. It's beautiful. So that's a really, really clever touch. What collection was that from?
That's a Citadel. Yeah, that's an old Games Workshop miniature.
Really?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So it's one that I don't think they've ever sort of re-released or anything. I may be wrong, but it's a bit of an uncommon one. There was just one particular set where it had lots of the characters. I think it was a Two Towers set, who were just in really nice passive poses. It was really, really nice. But yeah, just a slightly different, bit of a tangent there, but
no, it's nice.
Speaking of narrative,
well, the other thing we can do, because speaking of other work, all those bits and pieces that you just saw, you can find on David's Instagram at instagram.com/dungeonsanddragins, which is right there. Boom. Go follow it. Go check it out. And if you want to see, Alan was talking about movie props. If you want to see all the cool stuff that Alan does in Australia, go to type40.com.au. And you can see a ton of stuff. Plus, Alan has a Kickstarter coming soon. So check that out. Now we're going to continue with this experiment because I want it to work. I'm not sure it is, but I want it to work. Chav Hunter says, "What are we looking forward to at Dragon Meet? Dragon Meet is next weekend. It's got here so fast. I'm looking forward to it being the end of my week. Next week, the past couple of weeks, I've had a horrendous amount of day job, real world stuff to deal with, and Dragon Meet will be like a mini holiday where I get to hang out with cool geeks like me, chat to people selling their wares, and cool stuff. And actually, something that popped in my head from earlier, we were talking about resin pours. Have you seen those gaming tables that have the resin pours?
No, I've seen tables that have them.
Yeah. So Joe Magnelio, he got a resin pour gaming table done, and it's beautiful. It's really, really nice. But there's a guy who's going to be at Dragon Meet. We interviewed him a few months back, who makes his own dice primarily. His company name is Rune Fable. Really nice guy. We had him on the show. We've talked to him a few times at the conventions, and we finally managed to convince him to come on. He is going to be at Dragon Meet, and he has done like the coffee tables, but a DM screen, resin pour.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it does look beautiful. So you've got this wooden, two pieces of wood basically, joined together by this beautiful. It looks blues and greens, very kind of oceanic join in the middle, and then you've got the other panels as well. It looks amazing. So I asked him if he's going to bring it, and he said yes.
That'll be exciting to see.
It's going to be very, very nice. And just have a chat with him and see how he's made it, and yeah, looking forward to it. And I think we're going to be we're going to be doing some live interviews from Dragon Meat itself, which would be pretty cool. Catch up with a bunch of people. Well, my experiment looks better in wet paint at the moment than it does hopefully it'll dry well, but I think it's going to need a couple of coats. Now I don't know if the audience can hear, but painters, can you hear in the music? We've got background music. There's that whispering. Did you just hear the whispering?
Not really.
No. There's a bit. So there's this whispering going on with this. You've got this elven woman singing there, and I'm sure that one of the voices just says, "Fireball."
Didn't ask how large the room was.
Don't need to.
Said I was going to cast Fireball.
No, I have to see what it looks better wet. I'm hoping it looks as good when it dries, but if it does, it means I can do the rest of it like that. But it won't happen today because we're going to run out of time before we get there.
Really?
I think so. I think it's just too much to paint.
Yeah.
Chad Hunter says, I will be at Dragon Meat helping RPG Haven or RP Roleplay Haven. Yes, they were at the EGX show, and I think they were there last year as well. So yeah, well done, Chav. Baron Snowhand, can't wait for Dragon Meat. Yep, we're gonna have a badges section somewhere. Even if it's just a cup of tea and a custard cream. I might have to get some extra custard creams.
Yeah. You want to be careful. I don't know if you've ever been to many pop culture conventions. I used to go to a lot of them, and John Barrowman used to come to them.
Oh, yeah.
And he let slip on stage once that he liked an Australian biscuit called a Tim Tam.
The Tim Tam, yeah, the penguin. The Tim Tam.
Yeah. And he was then inundated for years with them. There's pictures of him just covered in them.
In Tim Tams.
The custard cream equivalent. I think I'm going to have to go and get another coffee.
Yeah, go for it. Got to keep yourself... Well, it's early morning for you, so keep
No, I just had a moment there. I was like, blimey, it's a bit late for a coffee.
Yeah, I think it's another coffee time.
Right, now. What can I do now? Oh, it's so tough. So tough.
I sort of like that this model is so big that if you get bored painting a bit, you can just move on to another bit while the other bit dries, and it's so large that that other bit will be dry by the time you're done.
Unless like me and you forget and you just put your hand in it, moving this thing around. Yeah, it's probably the most I've ever covered myself in paint. But this is pretty. I mean, this is speed paint and nothing fancy by any stretch of the imagination. But any mini that you put paint on, it looks so impressive. I think I'm gonna have to. I think the experiment hasn't fully dried, but I think it's going to work. So I'm going to continue slathering this thing in red. I think I am, yeah. Oop. Keep hitting the camera. Baron says, cup of tea in the morning and a beer later. Yes, I think so. It might be a late one for us, Baron, because we're going to be, I think we're going to be there till the end. At least until the shops pack up, which is about 6 o'clock. And then might try and get a space in the restaurant for a burger and a beer.
I'm quite excited about the idea of meeting you all when I come over to UK Games Expo.
So you should. We are highly exciting people. we tend to stay. So if you're looking into it, or if you've got the details from the exhibition, because you'll get an exhibitor's discount, but they tend to stay in the Hilton, which is
that's where I plan on staying.
Yeah, so we stay there as well, and it means that most of the big dealers, the bigger publishers of RPGs and stuff like that, they all stay there as well, and it also means because you've all been working hard all day. It means that the bar, which is excellent, has excellent food, pizza, fish and chips, and burgers, excellent food. Is packed full of geeks and nerds of all different shapes and sizes, and playing games. All the table games, or most of the table games, the organised ones, are in the hotel as well. They are not in the convention hall. And I will happily buy you a beer, or several, whichever you want to drink. And I've already told you, earlier this year Luke Gygax was there, so we got to hang out with him, which was great. Hopefully he comes back next year. He's going to be at Dragon Meet next Saturday anyway, so hopefully he'll come back for UK Games Expo next year. Alex Kamer was there. We got to catch up with him. I've heard that, and WizKids were there as well. WizKids, proper Watsies was there. Some of the you've seen them on their YouTube videos. Some of the Wizard of the Coast team were here as well. And who else was here? Kobold Press, Goodman Games. So it was a really, really good event, and I'm hoping that we get even more of those bigger companies coming over next year. I'm trying to encourage Beal and Grimm to come over. So yeah, I'm gonna keep nagging them until they do. but we will be doing our usual. We will be running games. We will be doing interviews. We will definitely be doing shopping. And we will see everybody in the bar afterwards.
I do love painting these big miniatures.
Did you just stab yourself again or something?
Oh, I genuinely do. Prefer them to small ones. I think that's mostly because my eyes are going.
Yeah, this is definitely the biggest mini I've painted. I want to be able to say I'll finish it, but keep an eye on Instagram, everybody. Instagram.com/BounderBadgers, and I will put photos.
I'll be
up.
posting mine on Instagram too.
Cool, fantastic. Oh, Steve's back, look. He came in all stealthy, look. Stealthies.
Crept in.
When did that happen?
About a minute ago. That's not what
right.
I've been saying for ages.
Yeah, we were talking about Games Expo and bits and pieces like that.
Yeah.
So, Steve, what are you looking forward to for Games Expo next year, and what are you hoping for Dragon Meet next week?
I don't know what I really want from Dragon Meet next week, actually.
Is there any like shopping wise? Is there anything you're after?
I might pick up some more Crisis Protocol miniatures.
Oh yeah, go for it. That's a great
I
name.
might pick up those Marvel Zombies expansions that you got, Steve.
Oh, I definitely recommend the Sinister Six.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some awesome miniatures in there.
Have you played the X-Men version yet?
I have not. No.
No. That's going to be our next thing. Me and the missus are gonna play. My boy loves it. We played it the other day. We did what you suggested. So we mixed the expansion box, the extras box.
Yeah.
Did it as a blind pool.
Yeah.
And what we did was, if you die, you just pick a new hero. And, right. And so it doesn't matter if it's not game over if one person dies, one player dies.
Yeah.
It was just keep going. And it was quite fun. We had to. And the first superhero pool was Dark Phoenix.
No way.
Yeah.
So I was telling Dave, the first hero we pulled in the game I played, my son, was Dark Phoenix, and her special ability is you can't kill her.
Yeah.
No.
So
Respawns.
if you kill her, she respawns the following round. So the best you can do is just keep avoiding her. But I was lucky that I was playing with Nightcrawler. So Nightcrawler, you can increase Nightcrawler's hunger and just teleport to anywhere on the map that another zombie hero is in, which is just awesome for providing backup.
Yeah, we Jack was Nightcrawler and he did it really well. He managed to escape brilliantly. I was Hulk and Deadpool.
Right.
So my blind pick was still from the original box, but
Yeah.
Hulk went toe to toe with Dark Phoenix.
Yeah,
Several
Hulk
times.
is great.
Yeah.
Because we pulled Thor as well.
Yeah.
And I was playing as Hulk. So I took Thor on. I had Rotting Flesh as well, so got him down to 3 health from 5. So I managed to take him out pretty easily, actually.
Okay, we are an hour and a half. We have half an hour to go. Plenty of time.
Plenty.
For Games Expo next year, I would like to try another game because we played Free League, Alien RPG, didn't we this time? So, and then we played Alex Gamer's game, and obviously in Gary Luke Cax's game. So yeah, I'd like to give a few more table games a go, and as I've said to you before, I'd really like to run one.
I think we should try and organise that. Because it's in the hotel anyway, so we know where it all is and we know how everything works now.
Yep.
We can definitely sort that out. Everyone's concentrating there, everyone's gone quiet. Should I put on the battle music?
Mm.
What have I got? Oh no, I haven't got any loaded. I've got the mystery music. Give again, I got a beer. Still tacky. Hasn't dried enough.
What was you trying to do?
I'm just trying to do different different ways I can shade this gold, because I'm doing gold dragon scales on the red dragon.
Right.
Just to make it very, very different.
Yeah.
So some of it looks really good, some of it doesn't. But I think if I keep layering on the gold, it'll be better. I don't want to layer it on while it's still tacky.
Yeah.
That would go funny. What I might do is do the rest of that, I think.
I got my coffee.
Well done.
I was so engrossed I didn't realise I still had it.
That's what I mean. I've still got my beer. Baron Snowhand says, Steve, loving the colour on your wings.
Thank you. Actually, two different ways of doing it, and at the moment they look like the same colour because that's still wet. The contrast paint does dry a lot differently when it's actually properly dried. It just takes a while to get there. Don't know what to do next because we only have 10 minutes. Might do some.
Mere moments left.
Do some claws, I think.
Yeah, I did some claws. They've come out really nice. And that's just straightforward black. Because we've got the There you go. Baron says the camera's making your wings look veiny. Yeah, that's what I said. It's like sinewy, like bat-like, really thin.
Yeah,
really
that's what I
make it
was
like that. Boom.
trying to do to make it look like it had a membrane.
Yeah. You can see it in top left. Yeah, there you go. Hey, I was going to say, is that shiny on purpose or is that just wet paint?
It's wet paint.
I was going to say, because it looks worse when it's shiny. Maybe put gloss varnish on.
Yeah, I could do that actually. Yeah, that's a good shout.
Maybe make it even more horrifying. Speaking of that, have you seen there is a mini? I don't know if it's WizKids or someone else, but there is a mini of a giant frog, and it's eaten someone. It's eaten a hero, and they got those bulging necks, and it's that.
Oh, yeah.
They're trying to push their way out through the flesh of the inside of the mouth. It looks horrifying.
I can't remember if that's a WizKids or Reaper. I know the one you're talking about. It's a demon.
Yeah.
It's one of the demon breeds, isn't it? I can't remember what one.
I think it's probably a Reaper. It sounds like what they would do. Yeah, that's the horrifying mini. That is. Eaten alive. And they're trying to get out. Ugh.
Yeah, I think it is a frogmoth. Frogmoth.
I've got a froggy moth. It was a pre-painted one.
It's like last night when we was playing Dragonlance. Sometimes the DM knowledge can be a bit of a curse. Like when you had them wraiths out, and it's like both me and Ian, both me and Ian, like looking at each other on the stream, going, "Oh no, this is gonna be so bad." And then Josh, the party cleric, gets hammered with a D20 with a nat 20, and then has to make his Constitution saving throw. Yeah, it can be. Knowledge of the game can be at times.
I think inside knowledge, use it to the best to your advantage. And the best thing is, I know your DMs anyway, so you never truly know what's going to happen.
It's like when it was my turn to hit, wasn't it? It's like, well, I know I ain't got a magic weapon, so I'll roll to hit.
Yeah.
I'm not doing any damage.
Yeah. It was a wasted effort, but you did it well. You played it.
Yeah.
But that's it. You have to. That character hasn't fought one before. Now it does. Now from here on in, it will remember. But for that particular moment, that was their first encounter with one. So you go through the motions.
Yes, Dave was very happy with the nat 20 last night. Very excited. Baron Stan was saying Dave was so happy with that nat 20.
It was the first roll as well. First roll. We were so busy with the interview, because we interviewed Beadle and Grimm, and then to play Dragonlance straight after. I didn't have dice out at that point.
So your first roll of night was nat 20. My first roll of night was nat 1.
There you go. Winner takes all. That's still a little bit tacky. Well, it's definitely not going to be finished tonight, but I have covered the whole thing in paint, just in case I never get back to it. I will get back. I've got to paint his claws. Alright, let's see if I can do that.
You can put it on the table now. It's fine. It's not got any grey bits showing.
Exactly, yeah. Next week, Steve, remind me. I'll pack up the Turbo Dog for you.
Yeah.
And I've got these extra minis as well for you.
Okay, cool.
I think one of is it? Yeah, I think one of them's a Starfinder mini.
Oh, cool.
It was basically it's just a robot. It's a very basic square robot with a square head, a TV screen for a face.
Oh, cool.
But it looks quite fun.
Is anybody a fan of ABC Warriors?
Used to be. Yeah.
Just released a set of miniatures for them.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's back in the day. I used to love Rogue Trooper.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was my favourite Rogue Trooper.
I had a great board game at that. I don't know what I did with that, but that was a great board game. Rogue Trooper is also an RPG of Rogue Trooper.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the same company that did the Judge Dredd one.
Yeah.
Which I really enjoy.
The was it Helm Gunner and Bagman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that's never been turned into a TV show, you know.
No, well, I think they've done. I think they've tried to make a film of it once. There was a cartoon of it, a cartoon movie, and that was pretty good. But again, the British stuff is really hard. All the 2000 AD stuff. You had Rogue Trooper, Strong Team Dog, ABC Warriors, and then you had the Toxic magazine came out, and that had what was that martial art assassin guy? He was and you had Martial Law.
Martial Law, wow, yeah.
Yeah, I mean
that was interesting.
Martial Law is basically the boys before the boys.
Yeah.
That was wicked. Baron Snowhand is from the same era. Love Rogue Trooper, Durham Red, obviously Dread. Yeah, it was always Judge Death was always the fantastic one. And the one they did in the Stallone, I didn't like the Stallone movie, but I did like the guy.
One was great.
Yeah, I like that one because that was basically Raid.
Yeah.
Here's a tower block. Go for it, Judge Dredd style. And I enjoyed that. But Judge Death was always my favourite. But in the Stallone version of Judge Dredd, I did like the fact they brought in the family.
Yeah.
He had the dial on his head.
Yeah. Mean Machine.
Yeah, Mean Machine. That's it. Again, just a little bit of fun.
Have
Right.
you,
Well,
talking to
5
boys, have you
minutes.
watched Gen V yet?
Yes. I have. The first few episodes are a bit rough because you're meeting new superpower beings. But once the story kicks off, it's quite good, and it takes you into it will connect you loosely into the next season of The Boys.
Yeah.
In the like literally the last kind of 5 minutes.
I want to paint these clothes, but they're still wet.
Yeah, I've just tried to paint one and mine was still wet, and then the paint has bled.
Yeah, it's just gonna.
Like,
Just need to leave that for a minute. Probably need to leave it for about 4 minutes, which is unfortunate.
Yep. Right, we are 4 minutes away, so start putting the last bits of paint on, and then we will run through, and that'll be it. So from Alan and from Mr. Fisk, I'm talking, but I'm holding my beer. I put my beer down. So you haven't had the pleasure of painting a mini in 2 hours with us in previous episodes of the Brush Off. How has this been for you? Because this is kind of a new format that we've been playing with. How has it been for you to kind of have share a table with 3 other people? All different varying skills, the chat, the mini itself. How has it been? That good, great.
No, sorry, I
speechless.
thought Alan was going to speak first. Great. Yeah, really nice. It's just nice to have a bit of a chin wag with some fellow nerds, and yeah, sort of try something a bit different,
And
I think
Dave, you
for
said
me,
you
just trying to.
You said you haven't painted live on stream.
I have not before, no.
Do you think you'd continue to do it on your own and give it a whirl?
Possibly. I think schedule providing is quite tricky when you have really young sprogs, but yeah, it could be. I'd definitely consider it. Yeah, I don't know how you chaps juggle the chat. That's another thing entirely. I've got my phone open, but I barely glanced at it because I'm concentrating so hard.
It's it's a lot harder to do on this particular show because my hands are full.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Very
most
full
of the
in
time.
this case.
Yeah, it's just hard to get, especially when just putting the chat up on the screen as well. So it's easy enough to shout something out.
Sure.
But to put it on the screen is a lot harder. What about you, Alan?
I like it. I like David. Having a paint and a chat is the best bit about it. These minis are lovely to do. They're out of the box paintable, and I love painting big figures as well anyway.
Yep.
And having that scheduled 2 hours where you know what you're going to be doing, it's really nice to be able to focus. Love it.
Good. And you, Steve? How is it having two pro painters?
1.5.
I'll give you a $5. I'll send you. What can I send you? Do you need some Branston pickle? Do you want some penguins? What do you need?
Branston pickle.
Gravy.
Gravy.
Pisto gravy.
Mushy peas. Care package.
it's good having two. 'Cause it's weird how no one ever paints the same.
Yes,
So it's good to see the completely different approaches that people have. And then, it is inspiring seeing that something can be painted from nothing up to the levels that we're looking at. But it's also depressing that if I spent 40 hours painting this, it wouldn't look like that. And I'm not bothered by that in a way, but it,
But I also am.
yeah, but also, yeah. Because I mean, if I painted something for long enough, it would turn out to be something that I'd be really proud of. But it would still be like I've got to invest that much time to get to that level of detail and
Yes.
and professionalism. And so having the stream and having a fixed time to sit down is good because it does make you do it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm pretty bad at. Like as I said to you at the beginning of the year, I said, right, I want to paint 1 mini a week, which
Dragon Skull Studios.
Dragon Skull Studios was doing and has done, which I'm really impressed with. To keep that up for the whole year, because it is hard. It is hard with so much other stuff going on.
Yeah. Right. It is. We've gone 1 minute over. It is brushes down. So I'll go first because my one's just been sitting there drying. This is it so far. So it is a bronze dragon mini, a giant mini. It is. I've turned it into a red dragon. This is speed paint. I've added some extra colour into. It looks much better on camera than it does, I think. But I've added some battle damage in here. There are claw marks and various other kind of bits and pieces here.
Did you do that with just extra wash?
No, it's a different paint. So a different paint colour. So we got the blood red and then slaughter red.
Right.
So 2 different tones. And then we've got the pallid bone for these bone struts. And what I wanted to do is to take these dragon scales and I've made them gold, but I think they need another coat of paint. So this one's come out really well. At least the light is really bouncing off of that on the camera, which is great. And I've got black claws.
Black claws are really nice.
My experiment is on the leg here. So what I've done on here, on the neck, I painted it black, and then I've put the gold over the top. And on here, I painted it red, and that's 2 coats of glorious gold at the moment, and it's come out like a rosé gold, a pinkish gold, and I quite like it.
Yeah, I like that.
It's very subtle and it just picks out the light. But I still might do another coat on there, so I get 3 coats, so you can see.
I like the way that's come out.
But it is done. It's all the way over.
That with the neck, I'll tell you, it looks like he's wearing a suit of armor, like barding.
Yes, a lot like Dragonlance.
Yeah.
So in Dragonlance, the dragons wear armor. So yeah, that's what the kind of thing I was going for. But its own unique natural armor, and I like it. It's still. I've probably got the most paint on my hands ever, which is nothing compared to most people. But there we go. I like that. I think that's cool. And Baron says so. He says it's nice. So yeah, I'm cool on that one. Alan, let's have a look at this. This is looking stunning.
Beautiful.
That looks really good.
So I'm really pleased with the wings. I wanted that gradiated colour.
Yeah.
So I'm quite happy with that. I didn't quite get round to doing the claws on the top, but I really like having my bony stuff go from light to dark rather than dark to light.
Yeah.
You see a lot of cow horns that look like that. And because there's a huge expanse of blue, I just wanted to break it up with some natural tones in the browns.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Come for this. And then I've spent a little bit of extra time on the face, which you can't quite see because of the blurriness.
Yeah.
But I'm going to redo the eyes black and put a little bit of gloss over them so that they shine. You know, they got a glassy look.
Very nice.
Really like painting this. It's really nice.
I like the way he's picked the bone out on the neck and stuff. That looks really good. And I've not seen the bone done from light to dark before. That looks really impressive.
It looks really nice, yeah. Again, a great sculpt.
It is, isn't it? Look at that. That's a nice model.
It is, yeah. Fantastic.
That's
okay.
Really good.
Next up, Mr. Fisk. Let's have a look.
So,
Get it on the right camera. There we go.
So yeah, excuse the thumb, painter's thumb. So I've pumped up the highlights a bit more. I've gone in and sort of sharpened up some of the armor plates, some of the edges of the larger scales and the horn areas. I still have loads more to do on the wings. I think they just need a bit more kind of. They got a bit of texture. But they could do with a bit more. I can see myself sort of fiddling with this forever to get it how I want it, but
it looks.
I'll do a dry fit on the base.
Look at that.
So that's how the final thing will look. Hopefully,
it's
That's
beautiful.
how you do it.
Yeah.
Also, fun little pro tip with the WizKids minis. If you do like to rebase them like I do, get yourself a big bowl with some boiled water in it, like really hot water, and just dip it in, and then you can reposition the feet really easily. So with this, I just bent the tail a bit and moved the feet around so they conform to the shape of the base that I wanted. But yeah, that boiling water trick just works so well. And yeah, I think that'll be nice and imposing on the table.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
it really is.
Really nice.
God, it's so big I can't even fit it in the view. My goodness.
We've mentioned this. This has come up in the discussion over the past couple of years actually, and we still haven't done it, Steve. We haven't done a brush off on basing, on how to make a base for minis.
Yeah.
So maybe we should. Maybe 2024 should be the year we do. We've got two guys here who know how to create bases.
Yep.
So
they need to run a masterclass for us.
Yeah. Teach us how to do it. And finally, Steve, let's have a look. I can't find one of the smalls. There we go. Zoom.
Yeah. There's mine. Wings done two different ways. Results fairly similar. I'm not quite sure which one I prefer, but yeah, it's done. Just very simply done with the contrast paints. I think on this one, this one was sand golem and hardened leather, just try and darken up some of the areas, and that one was whatever the yellow one's called, and not the slaughter red, the other one, the lighter red blended in. I
love the fact that when you shove it in front of the camera, you can really see the texture. The textures come out on the top. There you go. But it does. It looks like membrane, really, really thin, bat-like membrane. It looks kind of more evil.
I really like the impact that orange and red and yellow gives the entire miniature, and the contrast.
Yeah, I was like you. I wanted to break it up with some contrasting colours to just the blue. I didn't think about doing it on the body. I wanted to just do it on the wings. I've gone back over the horn and decided to go with a bone, same as you did, but I am going from dark to light. So I've done the dark layer, and I'll put glazing over the top to go lighter. Might put a darker brown on the base actually. But yeah, it's there are bits I don't like on this. But the wings are good. I'm pleased with the wings overall.
Cool. Good stuff. And there we have it, guys. That's the end of another brush off. And our first time painting dragons, which I hope it won't be our last time, but I'll have a chat with WizKids and see what they can send us next time.
Well,
There's a
I've
whole
got another
new
one here.
year. You got another dragon?
Yeah,
There's a
I've got another one.
whole-
And if you thought that one was spiky, this one's 10 times worse. Hang on, put the
Hold
other
on.
camera on.
Yeah, you got to switch the. We got a whole new year of 2024 releases coming.
Oh my goodness.
Ah.
Gravy.
Yeah, that's a
What's
trip
that
to the
one?
hospital waiting to happen. That's the gold dragon.
A
Adult
gold
Oh
gold
my
dragon.
god.
But at least that one's also on the floor as well, though, because that's coming right down to players. The faces come down to the players' levels, isn't it?
Yeah, that is, and there's a different head you can put on with the
Oh, it has fire.
fire coming out of the mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
That needs a paladin in front of it holding a shield up with a flame.
Yeah, totally.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am going to paint this one. I don't know when I am going to paint it and try and do a proper base for it and stuff.
Maybe we need another dragon. Chav Hunter says next is paint a Tarask.
Well, yeah, you've started yours, haven't you?
Mine's finished. So I got the Dungeons and Lasers Tarask.
Oh wow.
And it's massive. It's bigger than the
Yeah.
dragon. It is big. Yeah. Terrifyingly big. But beautiful. Have you guys looked at Dungeons and Lasers?
Yeah, I've looked at their stuff. They've got some really interesting terrain pieces and that kind of thing. Yeah, some really gorgeous stuff.
Yeah, that's something else we haven't done. Is also paint terrain on the brush. So that has to be another bit and pieces we're gonna be doing in 2024. I think. Yeah, I think we have to. Right. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. I hope you stick around. Please do put your posters. Please do put your photos up onto Instagram for everyone to share. I'll get my camera out of the way. There we go. And that's it. We will see everyone next time. Steve will be back, but this is the last Great British Brush Off of 2023. We will be back in 2024. We're gonna move it to Saturdays because Saturdays feels like a nice kind of place to do it. And hopefully you'll see Alan and David Fisk again. Maybe.
Yep,
If not,
hope so.
check them out on their own Instagrams.
Basing episode now you've promised.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Sounds interesting.
Well, we got Critical Role. We got Dungeons and Lasers. I'm really interested in doing a basing one. I think that'd be kind of cool. And I'm interested in doing something with terrain. We do have some stuff with Game Master planned for early next year. So.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah. Let's make some terrain stuff with the Game Master set.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get Adam to come on, and if Adam teaches us what to do, and we can get some game sets out to people, then let's try that. We'll get a group of us, where Adam can sit at the top of the screen, and the group us up. We're just like, yeah, we're going to make this. Let the instructor instruct, and we'll just do what we can. Right. That's it, guys. I'm going to call it a night there. You lot don't get away, but you lot watching, thank you very much for joining us. If you're watching on YouTube, please do like, share, subscribe, and put any questions in the comments below. Until next time, yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.